He's like, you want to see my wedding day? I'm like, David, no, not again. And he's like, look at this. And he shows the video to everybody. I'm like, thank you, love.
Okay, I'm going to my room. Y'all have fun.
Wait.
Okay, wait.
Hello. Welcome,
Aspen
baby.
slammed the door in my face.
Oh, that's sparkly. What did you do?
There was a moment during one of the holiday episodes, a scene that should have been warm, healing, and sincere, when Robyn Brown looked directly into the camera, wished the entire family a Merry Christmas, and slipped in a jab so loaded with guilt, so wrapped in sugar-coated bitterness that it left viewers stunned. She smiled sweetly and said, "I just wish everyone wanted to be together." That one sentence, dressed up in good intentions, was the mask slipping. Because what Robyn was really doing was blaming the other wives for leaving a house she helped divide. For years, fans gave Robyn the benefit of the doubt. She cried, she apologized, she claimed she never wanted to be the favorite. She called herself the Peacemaker. But now, TLC's own footage is telling a different story, one of quiet manipulation, carefully timed tears, and a family that slowly broke apart under the pressure of favoritism and control. This isn't just about a dramatic divorce or wives walking away. It's about something deeper, a pattern, a power dynamic, a calculated shift where Cody's loyalty narrowed to one wife. And that wife just happened to benefit every single time. From houses to holidays, finances to family meetings, Robyn's influence grew quietly, while trust and unity shattered behind the scenes. Hi, I'm Sarah, and welcome back to TLC Sister Wives Recap, the place where we peel back the layers and look at what really went down, all through the lens of real episodes, real footage, and real heartbreak. If you've ever watched a scene and thought, wait, did she really just say that? You're not alone. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. When did you first start seeing the cracks in Robyn's Peacemaker image? When Robyn Brown first stepped into the Sister Wives world back in season 1, she was introduced like a breath of fresh air. Soft-spoken, polite, teary-eyed. She came across as the gentle one, the woman who respected the bonds the other wives had already built. She told the cameras, "I don't want to break up their family, I just want to be part of it." And for a while, fans wanted to believe her. She seemed sweet, different, maybe even the one who would bring a new kind of balance to Cody's growing plural marriage. But behind that carefully curated innocence, the cracks were already beginning to show. Because even in those early episodes, Robyn wasn't just trying to fit in. She was quietly working to position herself at the center. Take her courtship with Cody, for example. The giddy phone calls, the over-the-top romantic gestures, the secretive kisses, all while the other wives sat at home wondering why their once shared husband suddenly felt distracted. And then came the tears. Always the tears. Whether it was discussing her divorce, the hardships of joining the family, or being misunderstood by the other wives, Robyn cried in nearly every confessional. But the timing of those tears always seemed just right. Right when Cody was watching. Right when sympathy could win her favor. Right when the narrative could shift back to Robyn as the emotional center of the story. What's more, her language in those early confessionals was anything but neutral. She didn't call out the other wives directly. No, that would have been too obvious. Instead, she used emotionally loaded phrases like, "I just want to be loved," or "I'm doing everything I can," subtly suggesting that the others weren't. That kind of language, that soft blame dressed up as vulnerability, was powerful. It painted Robyn as the victim, the misunderstood one, the emotional glue the family didn't know it needed. And all the while, Cody couldn't get enough of it. So while the cameras rolled and fans cheered for a new chapter in the Brown family's journey, Robyn wasn't just blending in, she was slowly becoming the star. Not because she forced her way in, but because she knew exactly how to be seen. As the years went on, it became painfully clear. When it came to big decisions, especially about money, homes, and long-term planning, Robyn Brown somehow always ended up with the winning hand. The biggest red flag? The infamous $900,000 Flagstaff house. while Christine scrambled to make do in a modest rental and Janelle bounced between temporary housing and a fifth-wheel trailer on Coyote Pass, Robyn, the supposed peacemaker, moved into a spacious two-story home with room for everyone except the rest of the family. And the kicker? She acted like she didn't even want it. She sighed, she cried. She told Cody she wasn't comfortable spending that kind of money. But after a few dramatic pauses and some soft pleading, she reluctantly agreed. And just like that, she had permanent stability while the other wives were told to be patient, to sacrifice for the dream of Coyote Pass, a dream that never seemed to include her. What Robyn understood, and what the others realized too late, is that pretending to resist power can be the most effective way to gain it. She claimed she wanted to be fair. She claimed she didn't want to be the favorite. But somehow, every single financial choice from Cody landed squarely in her favor. Whether it was the house, the budget, or the emotional labor of helping Cody manage the other wives, Robyn got more while appearing to ask for less. And when it came to the family's property plans, those infamous Coyote Pass meetings, Robyn played her role to perfection. She was never confrontational, never outright controlling. But when the other wives proposed real solutions, she stayed vague. When decisions needed to be made, she didn't push back. She stalled. She was always thinking, always not sure yet, always needing more time. And yet, somehow, the family stalled with her. Progress froze while Robyn's security grew. Christine and Janelle were told they were impatient, that they didn't see the big picture. But maybe they saw it more clearly than anyone. Robyn didn't need Coyote Pass to come together, right? Because she'd already gotten everything she wanted. This wasn't just luck. It was strategy wrapped in sentiment. And whether Cody realized it or not, he wasn't building a future for a plural family anymore. He was building a kingdom for one queen. One of the most unforgettable scenes in the series came when Christine made the brave decision to leave. As fans watched a woman who'd spent decades putting the family first finally choose herself, Robyn sat there, face twisted in pain, and said something that made jaws drop across the country. "It feels like a knife in the kidneys." Let that sink in. Christine was leaving a marriage that had grown cold, distant, and painfully one-sided. And Robyn, rather than acknowledge Christine's pain, or even just stay silent, turned the spotlight right back on herself. That's Robyn's signature move. Calm voice, tearful eyes, and just enough passive aggression to make her sound like the one who'd been wronged. Over and over, we saw it. She'd speak in soft tones with a carefully measured sadness that made it hard to call her out. But behind that calm exterior was a clear message. I'm the one who's hurting. I'm the one who stayed. I'm the only one trying. And that subtle but constant messaging created an emotional rift that only widened as time went on. Robyn would cry to Cody about being misunderstood. And Cody would take the bait. Every single time. She'd gently point out how the other wives weren't including her, how she just wanted unity, how no one saw her efforts. And Cody? He'd grow colder, more defensive, more combative, but only with Christine, Janelle, and even Mary. Never Robyn. It was emotional manipulation at its most refined. Robyn didn't scream. She didn't fight. She let the guilt do the talking. And the result? The other wives started questioning whether they were crazy for feeling excluded, when in fact they were just finally seeing things clearly. Janelle, who once bit her tongue for the sake of peace, began calling it out. Christine, the heart of the family, realized the team she thought she was on didn't exist anymore. Because while Robyn claimed to be all about family, her words painted a very different picture. She subtly framed herself as the only one committed, the only one who still believed, the only one who hadn't given up. And in doing so, she framed the others, intentionally or not, as the problem. It's the kind of manipulation that doesn't scream. It whispers. And by the time anyone hears it clearly, the damage is already done. For years, Robyn Brown's carefully controlled image as the sweet, devoted peacemaker held up, at least on the surface. But cameras don't lie, and when fans started watching more closely, they saw the cracks. They noticed the contradictions. And suddenly, Robyn's calm, tearful persona didn't seem so innocent anymore. One of the most telling examples, her infamous Christmas wishes moment. Robyn sat there, all warm smiles and syrupy sweetness, talking about how she just wanted a peaceful, united family holiday. But laced into her cheerful tone were unmistakable barbs. She brought up how things used to be, how some people didn't want to try anymore, and how she just wanted the family she was promised. The message wasn't subtle. It was a guilt trip dressed up in holiday cheer. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. Her eyes darted, her smile faltered just enough to feel forced, and the way she delivered those little comments about loyalty and togetherness felt less like hope and more like judgment. And then came the expressions, the ones fans couldn't unsee once they noticed. The eye rolls, the smirks, the tight-lipped disapprovals when other wives dared speak their truth. Time and again, when Cody was dealing with Christine or Janelle, there Robyn was, hovering, watching, occasionally inserting herself into conversations that should have been private. She always claimed to want boundaries, but she was right there when Cody ranted about Christine. She chimed in with her own concerns and carefully framed herself as the one who understood him best. It was never loud. It was never overt. But Robyn was shaping the story on camera, in real time. And the fans saw it. Online forums lit up with commentary. Did you see that look Robyn gave? Why was she even in that conversation? Why is she always crying when someone else is finally speaking up? Viewers who once sympathized with her started calling it out. The passive-aggressive digs, the crocodile tears, the way she subtly discredited Christine while painting herself as the last wife standing. People began to realize that Robyn wasn't just reacting to the unraveling family. She was helping script it. She used emotional language to shape Cody's perspective, knowing the cameras were rolling. She presented herself as the level-headed one, all while nudging the narrative just enough to make the others seem like the ones who gave up. But the truth is, Robyn's mask was slipping, and the footage proved it. The question wasn't whether she was influencing things. It was how long it had been happening before anyone finally caught on. When Christine made the heartbreaking yet empowering decision to leave Cody, the rawness of that moment didn't belong to Robyn. But somehow, she tried to claim it anyway. Instead of supporting Christine's choice or showing humility in the face of a woman choosing peace over pain, Robyn folded into tears and muttered, "I'm just so angry. This isn't what our family was supposed to be." But the real shock came when she turned that moment of farewell into a reflection about herself. She wanted apologies. She wanted closure. But not for Christine, for her own emotional image. And Christine? She saw right through it. She didn't scream. She didn't accuse. But her goodbye wasn't just a goodbye to Cody. It was a goodbye to the manipulative dynamic that Robyn helped solidify. Christine had stayed quiet for years, but that day, she walked out with her dignity, and fans knew the tide had turned. Then came Janelle. The most practical, level-headed wife, the one who used to stay out of the drama, suddenly began to find her voice. The breaking point? Watching Cody and Robyn live comfortably, securely, while she struggled with uncertainty, financial instability, and zero emotional support. And in a scene that shocked fans, Janelle finally said it. There's clearly a favorite. She didn't just whisper it in passing. She looked right into the camera and told the truth out loud. No more pretending, no more swallowing it for the sake of peace. Janelle had finally seen that the so-called balance of plural marriage was long gone, and Robyn's role in that imbalance could no longer be ignored. This was the turning point. Not just for the wives, not just for Cody, but for all of us watching. The illusion of Robyn as the innocent, selfless peacemaker shattered, and in its place stood a woman who, for years, benefited from quiet manipulation and a husband who refused to see through it. The wives saw it, the viewers saw it, and from that moment forward, the family would never look the same again. The cracks in the Brown family didn't form overnight, but once they appeared, they revealed truths that many fans had suspected for years. And once you saw them, you couldn't unsee them. Robyn's soft-spoken guilt trips, the financial favoritism, the reluctant privileges. It all added up. The Christmas digs, the tearful
Have to wait.
confessionals, the
Like,
conveniently
nothing can
timed
happen
breakdowns.
unless Cody wants
They
to
weren't
take
just
action, 'cause
moments
his
of
name
emotion.
is on all of the
They were
properties.
moments of control. Carefully placed,
Hi.
painfully
Hi. I
consistent,
do not want
and
this
all of it
property.
caught on camera. What we saw wasn't just the unraveling of a plural marriage, it was the exposure of a pattern, one that benefited Robyn while isolating the others. And through it all, Cody stood by her side, blind to the damage or simply unwilling to admit it. His refusal to see the imbalance, to listen, to lead with fairness, that was the final nail. He wasn't just complicit. He was active in the alienation of the very women who once built that family alongside him. But Christine and Janelle, they broke free. With grace, with grit, and with their children by their sides, they're writing a new chapter. One that isn't dictated by passive-aggressive wishes or one-sided loyalty. They chose peace. They chose self-respect. And they showed all of us what true strength looks like when the cameras are still rolling. So now, the question lingers. Was Robyn ever truly about unity? Or did she quietly orchestrate the collapse from the inside? I'm Sarah, and this has been another deep dive from TLC Sister Wives Daily. If this hit home for you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comment.